Namaskar all. In this video, we're going to discuss the last application of the chi-square test, that is the chi-square test of independence. Chi-square test of independence is basically used to check the difference between the observed and the expected frequency of the data in a contingency table format. To understand the concept better, let us look at an example. In a city, out of a random sample of 2000 individuals, 1400 consume tea. Out of 1800 individuals aged 18 years or above, 1236 consume tea. Test whether there is a significant difference in consumption of tea among the individuals aged 18 years or below 18 years. So over here we need to understand that the total sample size is of 2000 individuals which are divided amongst two groups, that is the people aged below 18 years and above 18 years. Now the concept is to check whether the consumption of tea is equally popular between the two age groups or not, or we can say that the consumption of tea is there any significant difference between the consumption of tea between the two age groups, that is below 18 years and above 18 years. Such kind of question qualifies for a significant test of independence. For the solution, first of all, we need to prepare a contingency table. For this, first we need to understand the question better. The total sample size is of 2000, which is given to us. Now, how many of them are above 18 years and how many of them are below 18 years? Now it is given in the question out of 1800 individuals aged 18 years or above, which means it is given to us that the total number of individuals above 18 years are 1800 and the total sample was of 2000. So automatically we can say that the sample of people following in the age group below 18 years is 2000 minus 1800, which is equal to 200. Now we need to check the number of people consuming tea and the non-tea consumers. It was given that out of 2000 people, 1400 consume tea. That means the non-tea consumers are automatically 2000 minus 1400, which is equal to 600. Also, it was given that the people above 18 years of age were 1800, but out of them 1236 were consuming tea. That means the non-tea consumers are automatically equal to 1800 minus 1236, which is equal to 564. So this much data is already available with us. Now how to prepare the contingency table? For this, first of all, we'll draw a 2 by 2 table. On the row side, we will take the tea consumers and the non-tea consumers, and the columns will be above 18 years and below 18 years. Now, the total number of people above 18 years is the column total for above 18 years, which is 1800. Out of these people, 1800 people, the tea consumers are 1236 and the non-tea consumers are 564, which we have already calculated. Also, it was given to us that the total tea consumers or the row totals were 1400 and the total non-tea consumers were 600. If we know this much, we can easily calculate our tea consumers below 18 years because the total tea consumers are 1400. Out of these 1400 people, 1236 are above 18 years. So automatically the people below 18 years are 1400 minus 1236, which is equal to 164. Similarly, the non-tea consumers below 18 years can be calculated as out of a total of 600 non-tea consumers, 564 belong to the age group above 18 years, so 36 are below 18 years. With this, we have a contingency table prepared with us containing the observed frequencies as 1236, 164, 564, and 36. And we have the row totals as 1400 and 600 and the column totals as 1800 and 200, with the grand total being 2000. Once the contingency table is prepared, we will proceed to our steps for hypothesis testing. So the first step will be the formulation of hypothesis. The null hypothesis here will be there is no significant variation in the consumption of tea according to the age groups. And the alternate hypothesis is there is a significant difference in the consumption of tea according to the age groups. As the level of significance is not mentioned in the question, it will be taken up as 5%. So alpha is equal to 0.05. For the degree of freedom, the formula for contingency table degree of freedom is equal to R minus 1 multiplied by C minus 1, where R is the number of rows and C is the number of columns. In this question, there are two rows, the tea consumers and the non-tea consumers, and there are two columns, above 18 years and below 18 years. So R is equal to 2, C is equal to 2. So the formula for degree of freedom will be 2 minus 1 multiplied by 2 minus 1, which is equal to 1. So the degree of freedom in this question is 1. The next step is to calculate the test statistic. For the test statistic, we need two things. One is the observed frequency and the other is the expected frequency. Observed frequency we have already calculated in the contingency table. Now we need to understand how to calculate the expected frequencies. For a contingency table, the formula for expected frequency is for a particular cell, the value of product of column totals and the row total divided by the grand total. Let us understand with the help of an example. Let's say for the first cell, the tea consumers above 18 years. We know that for this cell, the row total is 1400 and the column total is 1800. And the grand total, that is the total number of sample size, is 2000. So automatically the expected frequency will be 1400 multiplied by 1800 divided by 2000, and the answer will be 1260. Similarly, for the second cell, the tea consumers below 18 years, we can say that the row total is 1400, column total is 200, and grand total once again is 2000. So the expected frequency will be 1400 multiplied by 200 divided by 2000, and the answer will be 140. Similarly, all the expected frequencies can be calculated. So we can see that the calculations for the different cells are given as, and the final answers are: for the first cell it is 1260, for the second cell 140, for the third cell 540, and for the fourth cell it is 60. Now we are ready with our observed and the expected frequencies. The next step is to calculate the chi-square value. For this, first of all, we will enumerate in a table the observed frequencies as 1236, 164, 564 and 36. The expected frequencies which we calculated 1260, 140, 540 and 60. The next step will be to find the difference between the observed and the expected frequency. So for the first cell, let's say it is 1236 minus 1260, which is equal to minus 24. The next step will be to calculate the square of the difference between the observed and the expected frequencies, which is minus 24 square, which is equal to 576. And the final column will contain the ratio between the square of the difference of frequencies and the expected frequencies, that is O minus E square divided by E. So we need to divide 576 by 1260, the expected frequency, and the answer will be 0.457. Similarly, the expected frequencies for all the cells can be calculated. The next step is to find a summation of the last column, which will give us a total of 15.238, which becomes our chi-square calculated. Now that we have our chi-square calculated as 15.238, we need to compare the calculated and the standard values of chi-square and accordingly decide upon the hypothesis. The chi-square calculated is there with us, but the chi-square standard value has to be checked from the chi-square table for a level of significance equal to 5% and the degree of freedom equal to 1. For this value, the standard value is 3.841. Now, we need to understand that the chi-square test is a right-tailed test. That means the rejection region lies in the right-hand side, which means if the chi-square calculated value is more than the chi-square standard value, the hypothesis has to be rejected. In this case, as chi-square calculated is 15.238, which is bigger than the chi-square standard value 3.841, rather it is much bigger than the chi-square standard value. Hence, we can say that it lies on the right hand side of the critical value, which means that it lies in the rejection region, and we can state that the null hypothesis is rejected. That is, there may be a significant variation in the consumption of tea according to the different age groups. So this is how we complete our chi-square test of independence. Thank you.